Welcome to another edition of Fitness Friday. I'm Erica Fernandez, and I'm here today with Casey Stutzman. Casey, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me, Erica.
So we've been talking about, for the last couple of weeks, different options for cardio because of the winter months. And today I know that we're doing cycling, but who can start doing it? Who is it for? And what are the different varieties we can go into?
That's a really, really great question. I truly believe it's for everybody. So it's a great way to just get your heart rate up and get a good sweat on when maybe it's a little tougher to get outside and do some things. It's less monotonous sometimes than being on the treadmill because you have, in a class or you have other people and great music and, there's a lot of things to break that up and vary it. But if you are someone who enjoys riding bikes, it's a great way to keep that fitness up in the winter months. So when the snow does melt and it's time to get the bike out, your fitness level maintains at a pretty good level so you can hit the ground running, so to say, when it's time to get back out on the bike.
All right, and so who can start running? I mean, do you need like professional gear or clothes or an actual bike? Like,
you know what? It's a really great because it's so like low barriers to entry.
Okay.
Sometimes people will take their own bikes and put them on what's called a trainer, so you can do it even in your own house.
Okay.
Regular workout clothes. I just got on regular shorts and regular shoes. I mean, yeah, of course you can wear cycling shoes and shorts and whatnot, but what you're wearing is perfect.
All right, so let's get started. What are a couple of tips to cycling correctly?
Perfect. So let's talk about these are, I think, my three biggest tips to getting the most out of your indoor cycling experience. So number one is bike fit.
Okay.
We want to make sure that bike fits properly and comfortably.
Okay.
It's not only going to help with mechanics, it's going to make the ride more comfortable. More comfortable means more enjoyable. More enjoyable means you're probably going to go back and do it more. So to make sure that the fit is where we want it to be, first we want to check our foot in what we call the 6 o'clock position. So with this leg all the way down, there should be a very slight bend in the knee. So if we notice that your leg was fully extended, we would have to bring that saddle down just a little bit. It's going to be too high. If we notice that your knee's bent too much, we're going to have to bring the saddle up a little bit. So we're going to use the up and down adjustment to get this position with your foot nice and flat. That's beautiful right there. Okay. Your other adjustment's going to be at your 3 o'clock position. And what I'm looking for here is if I was dropping a line from the base of your kneecap, it should go right down in the middle of your pedal spindle, right across that kind of forefoot. Mm-hmm. And from here, if I need to, I'm either going to slide the saddle back or forward to find that appropriate position. Okay. Handlebars on an indoor bike are all about comfort. So once you've got your saddle set, once you're in good position here, which you are, we're just going to set these wherever they're most comfortable for you. All right. All right, tip number 2 has everything to do with intensity, which is directly related to cadence. So what I mean by that, cadence is how fast you're pedaling. So go ahead and start pedaling for me a little bit. Okay. You'll notice you have a number on that top of your screen. Mm-hmm. That's your cadence or your RPMs, how many revolutions per minute. Okay. We have a range that we generally want to stick in. So if I'm climbing, like pretending I'm going up a hill, my RPM should be 60 to 80. Okay. If I'm on flat roads or sprints, I should be around 80 to 100. Okay. There's not a lot of value or benefit going over 100 RPMs. Usually if we're in those ranges, we don't have enough resistance or enough gear. Okay. So for example, what I want you to do here is find around like 80 or 90 RPMs. Okay. And that's kind of quick and light. Yeah. Now I want you to add enough resistance or gear to get your RPMs down to 60. Oh, okay. And now we're climbing. Yeah. So we're going to use that gear to get those legs slowed down just like we're going up a hill. Now a sprint, keep that gear where it's at, try and go up to 80 RPMs. You got it. Push hard, big push, big push, big push. And then relax, take that gear off. Woo! So when we're thinking about sprinting, think of it as you would on an outdoor bike, where I click into big heavy gears and then power into the pedals. Okay. One of the biggest mistakes that I see is sprinting, we take all the resistance off and just go really, really quick with no resistance. No resistance means no intensity. Okay. So when we're sprinting, we want to keep that intensity up. When we're climbing, we want to make sure that gear and resistance is heavy and that the legs are slow, that 60 to 80 RPMs. So really managing your resistance and your cadence will unlock really, really great rides for you. Okay. So our third tip is about out of the saddle positioning. Okay. So a lot of times when I see people coming out of the saddle, we start to distribute our weight incorrectly. So we put too much weight on the bars and we basically unload the crank and the pedals. And if I were to do that outside, I'd fall and lose control. So the most efficient way to be out of the saddle is, so let's get those legs rolling. I need enough gear to stand on. So there should be a little bit of tension. So turn that to the right, you got it. So enough to stand on. You got a little bit on there. Now when I come out of the saddle, I want to stay heavy on the pedals, light on the bars. Okay. So I'm going to come straight up, heavy on the pedals, light on the bars, keeping my weight back, and then have a seat. The best way to work on out of the saddle climbing is just little bits at a time. Come up for maybe like 5 revolutions, and then right back down.
Okay.
Come up for 5 and right back down. And I just want to be careful that when I come up, I'm not shifting and dumping all my weight onto the handlebars,
right,
but staying back over the crank, light on the bars.
Okay, perfect. All right, so to wrap up, Casey, tell me again, what are the 3 fitness tips that we need to look at when we're going to cycling?
Fit. Make sure that it fits nice for you. Get your seat up and down, forward and back, set up appropriately. Number 2, make sure we are running enough resistance to keep the intensity at those high ranges.
Okay.
Climbing, we're going to keep our cadence between 60 and 80 RPMs. Flats and sprints, 80 to 100. Really not a lot of sense to go over 100. Third and finally is on any out of the saddle work. Keep the weight back, heavy in the pedals, light on the bars.
All right, perfect. So there you go, another option for cardio during these cold winter months. Thanks again for being here, Casey.
Thank you.
Stay tuned because sports is next.